Hello, welcome to Chinto. This will be the full detailed analysis of how to do Chinto. Remember, it is a first to second dan form. You're more than welcome to learn it, but obviously expect, as it is a black belt form, it is a lot more complex than your standard, say, pianans or anything like that. Okay, nothing wrong with having a go at it, but understand that it will be a lot more difficult to do if you've never done any of these moves before. Okay, so a couple of notes first of all. As you can notice here, on my right wrist and my right ankle, I have a red band. This helps you differentiate which is my left and my right. Okay, and also you may have noticed is I've got east, west and north. Now you observant ones amongst you will notice there's no south. Well, not assume, it is actually, that the crane at the back is always south. Now the reason I use north, east, south and west is north, east, south and west never change. Okay, as I turn around or face the other way, my right arm, leg can get slightly complicated. So when I'm doing the explanation of which direction I'm going, I will say north, east, south or west. Okay, so first thing we need to do, like every form, okay, is chariot, hands and feet together, and then bow, kanye. Come up, in position, snap to chumbi, and I'm ready to go for the first move. Now my first move is a stance called Sakura Jesse. Okay, so I will be moving back my first move, my right leg. I'll be moving back 45 degrees this way. Okay, so I'll be chambering my right foot, which is a red band around it, into my knee and then stepping back, and I'll pull both hands back to my hips and then drive above my head with the hands open. So snap my hands back, foot in and up. And then there is my first stance. Now, next thing you need to pay attention to is that I'm pushing my knees out. Okay, so it's not a horse riding stance, it's not a back stance. As you see, it's not a back stance as there is no alignment through the middle there. Okay, also my body is rotated round. I'm not just stood square, otherwise my line of sight will be obscured. Hands are open, as you can see at the top here, he says. Okay, there, and I'm facing north to the first move. I'm going to pull it down, load it up, and I'm drive forward into a left hand knife hand and a right hand reverse punch, and I'm going to shorten my stance. This is anticipation of my next move when I have to go and kick to the back. So a knife hand punch and I shorten my stance. So look how much it's come up from where the previous position is. So there's my position there. And there's my starting position. So that's why the knee's bent and so much loaded in there, so I can drive up and through into that position. You notice it's a face heist punch, and then I've got my hand pulled right back, and I have shortened stance, made my leg a lot straighter than it was previously. I then snap my gaze to south, and I see I'll bring my foot round and notice my hand up above my head to cover as I turn. I don't want my hand down around this point here. It leaves me open to get hit in the face. So I'm going straight from north all the way to south. So I'm going via west. Okay. Kick, hammer fist. For those of you who've done O-down before, you'll recognise that there. And then I'm coming up round. So if I go back a little, I'll not do that. Go back a little bit. So I've got my hammer fist, I set my stance, horse riding stance, and then I'm going to snap my gaze back to the front. So there, am I going the right way? Yes. Okay, and then I'm going straight back to north, and I'm going to hands to the hips, and then drive straight up into front stance. There. Okay, hands above my head, again, fingers open. Front stance there, and I pull in a semicircle out away from my body and round into my solar plexus. And I pull in tight. Okay, well, my arm's in tight because I now have to do a double jump front kick. Okay, I'm going directly to north with this. So I'm not going to try and jump off at an angle or going across this way. Okay, I'm going straight to north. So double jump front kick, boom, there. And once I've landed, I planted my feet so I can drive forward into a front stance. So chamber and then drive, boom. So double X block into a front stance, there. So again, I'm going to the front here and I'm in a front stance. Before my next move, I look, as always, I want to see the next attack, I want to be into position. And I'm going to go straight from north to straight to south. So again, I'm looking to south. I'm going to pull the hands into my opposite hip. So I pull to my right hand side over here. And I drive front stance there again. Okay, so now my left leg is forwards. There. Okay, and then straight from there, I'm going straight from south to north again. Okay, now this is for those you know, it's a low knife hand position, so the same chamber and same setup, same stance as a back stance, but my hands are closed. So you bring it in, hands are closed, and there. So look, low knife hand, exactly the same position, front hand came from my head, this hand came from my hip. Okay, so front stance, and then I'm in a chamber, so as I'm going through this slowly, I'm going to open my hands, so you can see that I'm going to go for a knife hand next, just so it's more clear when I step forwards. And it's a low knife hand as normal. Again, it's in a back stance, because you see my feet are in line. Then I'm going to pull across, and I'm going to chain to a front stance, and my hands are loaded and rolling in. And I'm going directly to north, and right leg is forwards. And I'm pushing from there. Okay, so on a front stance I'm pushing, and you can notice that the height that I'm pushing at is the same height as my clavicles. Okay, or collarbone. And okay, and just as always, just before I move, I'm going to snap my vision to west. Okay, and then my left foot is going to move backwards into horse riding stance. And I'm going to pull up as if I'm catching a kick. Okay, so once we do this, I'll clear this. Look, snap up, so horse riding stance, knees pushed out. Okay, and you look, I've got this angle here. Done the angle the wrong way. Okay, so I've got that angle there. So I can hold a kick through the top of my arms here. I don't want my hands to come like this, to be out here like this. Okay? Reason being is obviously there's going to be too much weight of a leg, so I've got to hold that there, so I'm snapping this way here. Now I'm going to go straight back to south. So my horse riding stance is going to change to a back stance. Okay, and I'm going to go into that O down stance with my right arm back. So, I'm going to look. Oh no, my bad. I completely forgot about that bit. Okay, so I'm going to roll through, close my hands, then snap my gauge. So I'm ready to look to the back here. So I'm going straight to south, and I step back and roll back there. So if I do that again, as you can see it, yeah, so my right hand goes in front, the left hand pulls in tight, and I snap round and I drive back onto the weight of my right leg and here, and my right hand's really high up. I know you can't see it, hand is closed still, there, right arm and leg back, into a back stance. You can see my feet are in line, there. And then I'm going to step with my right foot past. Now the important thing is that I don't go wide with it, okay, otherwise it'll make my feet go out of line. Hopefully I can do this nice and slowly. So look, I chamber my foot out, so I bring it out, so it helps with my hips movement. If I keep that foot forward and try and go past, my hips are not going to be able to go past each other. Okay, so that'll make my foot swing round. So I turn my foot out, and so look how close that is. Okay, so even if I look at that right there, my feet are really close, so it's going to allow me to drive forward and use my hips effectively and keep them loose to go straight through. And there. Okay, now my left hand is up, right foot's in front, right hand is closed, and I'm facing south still. And now I'm going to spin backwards. So I'm going to spin, wrong one. I'm going to spin round this way. Okay, so I'm going to look to east and as far round to north as I can, and spin all the way round with my left leg. There's the look. I'll spin round, and so I can keep turning my head to bring it round, and I've got to get into that back stance again. Arm up, behind my head, so now I finish with my right hand up, right foot back. And then from there, I'm going to look to west, okay, and I'm going to drive down onto my knee, okay, and block a kick coming from there. Now there's two ways you can do this. You can either have your foot flat or your foot, what would be in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or no-gi, as a combat base for your foot. Okay, so you can use your foot to then drive up. So it all depends on the strength of your legs. It's not like Basai. Your knee will touch the floor. If you don't want your knee to touch the floor, then you've obviously got to use a bit more quads for it. So I'm going to look, I'm going to drive down here. Okay, so you see how I'm using this, my foot like this. Again, there are plenty of people that keep this part of their foot touching the floor, so the sole of their foot is facing the ceiling. Okay, and then I'm going to pop up. I'm going to go to horse running stance, keeping it low and flicking out, and as if I'm catching another kick, but this time my hands are closed. So I'm going to use my left leg, pop up, and elbows in and flick out in that position there. And again, just the same as before. One. No, why do you keep doing that? One. No, doesn't want to do it. There we go. Okay, so I've got that angle there. So my hand is up, level with my face. Okay, and I'm now facing west. Now from here, then I'm going to do a double roll over, nice and long, with both hands. So one hand's going to go that way, the other hand's going to go the other way. Okay, and I bring it all the way round to my side. It's a big circle round, up over my head, down to the front, and then I'm going to snap both hands to my hips. So I know you can't see my left hand, but it's going to go to my hips. Now I use my belt as a guide of where I'm going to. So I'll snap it to my hips there, okay, and then I'm going to step round with my left leg and go into a cross stance facing the other way. Oh, ignore that. I'm going to do a double strike first. So I go to here, pull it into my hips, and now I'm going to do a right elbow, left elbow twist. So right elbow, and then left elbow, using as much hip as possible and pivots, and then I'm going to look around to east, and then pull both my hands up in the same position I was when I popped up from the floor here. So drop right elbow, twist, left elbow, then I'm going to look to east, left foot drags up, and then end up with that cross stance here, and again, 1, 2, angle up, hand level with face, there, set into my stance, and now I'm going to go to my first Chinto stance. So I'm going to look to north, and my hand's going to wheel round, and then my right hand is going to end up behind my head, closed, this position. So I look, my right hand goes low, left hand goes high, and then I'm going to wheel it through, and at the same time, my left foot is going to go into the back of my right knee. Again, keeping it tight. This is bent, this should be tense to the back here, hands above my head. I know you can't see it, apologies for that. Okay, and I lock this arm out, in this position here. Okay, the foot is in behind the leg there, okay, as the traditional way it's done. You can have it slightly looser, depending on what you're trying to achieve. And now, from here, my right hand is going to come down to here. Okay, and my left arm is going to come back, then it's going to both snap across. Okay, and I'm going to face north for the whole of this. So it drives down and comes across. Okay, so right hand on my hip, left arm across, and now this left leg is now getting ready to do a front kick, and then my left hand is going to do a hammer fist. So I want to keep my knee slightly soft on this leg because I'm going to have to drive with it, and I'm going to extend my left hip. There, okay? So, again, I have a habit of taking my heel off the floor. Some people keep their foot planted. It's mainly about driving this hip up. Okay, so extend my kick. And again, I tuck my chin in so I can then force my hips further forward, and my right hand here stays stuck to my side. I don't want it to start wiggling out to the side here. And again, I'm going straight to north. So that foot's going to come in chamber. So I've got control, and I keep my arm extended so it gives me reactive force as I step forward here. So step, and then I use this hand to pull back and then drive that right hand forwards and snap it in. Okay? So my right hand is forwards, right leg is forwards. Now this right arm and leg is now going to go back, and this will go to my right foot, will go to the back of my left leg. And again, the same wheeling motion, so I'm going to set it, so my right hand's going to go high, left hand's going to go low, pull it back, bring it up. Again, take your time to find your balance. I'm using my vision. You notice I'm not looking straight at the camera because the camera is actually down from me. I'm looking straight ahead. There's something in the same line as my eyesight. Okay, if I start looking down, my weight's going to go that way there. If I start looking up too high, my weight's going to go backwards. So I need something straight on that line. Okay, so I'm still facing straight north. Again, the same twist in. So I'm going to pull my hand down and across. So my right hand is across, left hand is here. Right foot's tucked behind, ready to kick. So right hand's going to do a hammer fist. Right leg's going to do a kick. My left knee, okay, is going to be doing the one that's doing the driving. Okay, so again, I'm still focused on looking straight forwards. Still going to north. So again, there's a little bit of bounce there. If I was probably better at Chintō, I'd have less bouncing. But with that, you got to repeat the form, and then your balance will get better with it. Okay, if I just go back a second to help my hip extend, you see that little shift. You notice how, look, I bring that shoulder back, so I'm getting a slight pivot on my foot. So that helps my hips open. I extend. Snap it out again. Chin tucked. Arm straight. Okay, leg extended and my foot slightly up. Okay, off the floor. Hand still stuck to my side, it's not flailing out this way. Chamber, and then I'm going for a reverse punch with my left. So I'm going to land this right foot into a front stance. I'm going to drive my right hand backwards and reverse punch with my left. Okay, again, front stance, all piggies going to market. There. Now from this one, I've got a turn. So I'm going to be kicking with my left leg again and hammer fisting with my left arm. But I've now got to go all the way around to south. So my left foot here is going to go towards my right knee. So again, always look before you turn. It helps get your balance as you turn, your focus point. Twist, again, camera angle's not brilliant, apologies, but you get the idea. Exactly the same as before. This time my right hand's coming back, so my right foot is on the floor. Left hand's going to come across. There, so my left hand's here, right hand's there, right foot on the floor, left foot behind. Settle into my stance, and now the difference with this one, I'm going to still do the kick and hammer fist before, but now I have to land in a back stance. Okay, so this left foot has to land in line here, okay, and I've got to get this right knee bend out. So when I throw this kick, I'm going to kick and I'm going to chamber really deep into myself and hold it, and then as I go down, I'm thinking my weight going down on this leg here. So still going to a right hand reverse punch this way. I need to tuck this in as much as I can because I'm going to reverse punch in here. Now look, if I use this nice green one there, you can see to help keep my shoulder down, so I'm not punching up with my shoulder touching my chin. Okay, I'm pushing it down and hitting midsection. I'm going to snap my gauge again, and now I've got to shift my weight because I've got to do a backhand and then pull into an elbow. Okay, so now the weight is at the moment, as it should be for a back stance, is on my right leg. I'm going to shift my weight forwards and then drop it down onto my left leg to put the weight as a back stance onto my left leg. So that's shift, boom, there's my back fist. Okay, and you notice the weight is here now, the weight's taken off there, hand is open as a back fist, backhand, okay, and now pull into an elbow. So it's not me coming forward so much as me, the hand's open for a reason, I'm pulling them in to an elbow. So watch, I pull the elbow in, so I start to drive the elbow, again I relax my wrist to help the elbow come forwards, boom, and I pull them in for the last second, so I'm flat across myself, but I don't lose my back stance, so my leg hasn't gone straight this way, okay. And now, once I've done this elbow, here, with my left arm, I'm going to pull it back to my hip, and then drive it up and round. Remember like we did earlier on, in the first couple of moves, okay, this hand's going to go above my head, and then I'm pulling it down to my hip, ready to do the Chinto stance with a kick hammer fist. So there's the drive back. Again, as I've got to turn, I've got to look around to east and as far around to south as I can to help my body rotate. If my head stays still, that means my body can't move. Remember, your head leads your body. So come up and I snap my head round, I pull in, a little bit of a hop round to here, and again I pull everything tight so my left arm's across me in front there. Now you can only just about see it. My right hand is pulled into my hip. Now you've completely lost my head, but you know that I'm looking straight at south. Kick and hammer fist, extend, chamber for a second, so it allows me to keep that balance so I can step through properly. And then when I finish, I'm just going to step forward with my right leg, right arm into a horse riding punch, exactly like you do in basic form 3. So a chamber. Now look, I set my foot out to allow my hip to drive through. I pick my right foot up, drive so I can step into it and sink into the horse riding stance with a kiap there. And so I'm punching straight to the back here. Again, this is one of the sort of the first forms you do where you move forward to chumbi back to the back of the room. So it's going to go from there. So before I come back to chumbi, so that's the last move, I'm going to look to north, and then my left foot is going to go towards south and then step across to come back to chumbi. So look to north, that's to finish the form, and snap back to chumbi. So both Hands come back to my hip, left foot up, step across, chumbi, and then show relax. Feet together, hands by sides, and bow. And there we go.